Money Radio, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure to welcome Laura Bramnick from TalkRealEstateAZ.com. That's the website, TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Sinclair.
How are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Good. Laura is an attorney, a real estate attorney specializing in real estate. She's also a real estate agent, and that's a great combination. You don't see that too often.
Not too often.
Not in Arizona.
Well, outside of Arizona, most people use a lawyer to do all the paperwork in the transaction.
Mm-hmm.
The realtor, shows the buyer the property or gets the house ready to sell. But their involvement is very different.
And I think it's important, and we'll talk about that in our topic today. But let me give your phone number first. You're at 480-624-2705, 480-624-2705. Good number to call if you have a real estate transaction.
Yes.
You're buying or selling residential, commercial. You also work with land transactions.
I do, yes.
All of that.
Yes.
So 480-624-2705, and you can get a real estate attorney for the many times same price as just a regular old real estate agent.
It depends on the transaction, but you can get the legal advice you need many times for no extra cost.
Or if somebody has a legal issue, they can talk to you about that as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. TalkRealEstateAZ.com. And we have some of our conversations posted there as well.
We do, absolutely.
Video and audio. Here's a good situation where it's important, I think, to have someone who is an attorney that can represent you as well as a real estate agent. And that is when someone is buying property, they are required to do a fair amount of due diligence on their own, basically.
Yes, they are. And property's unique. Even if you're in a planned community, there can be issues. If you're in a planned community, of course, there's going to be CC&Rs. And so you want to review them because CC&Rs can have restrictions that you may not be aware of.
Covenants, conditions, and restrictions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in terms of something as simple as parking on the street, or whether you can have an RV, or how long you can leave your Christmas lights up. And then there's more involved restrictions that deal with how many people can live in your house, the size of your animals, those types of things that may be deal breaker for you. So the CC&Rs are a big deal, and you need to know what they say.
And that's different from HOA rules and restrictions.
Yes, the HOA rules and restrictions are in addition to the CC&Rs. So,
Okay.
And there is some crossover,
Mm-hmm.
but the HOA is really more specifics about the details of the rules, so it's important to understand what they are. What I've run across a lot is where there's been a remodel of a property, but there haven't been permits obtained, and then you buy the house and you find out that maybe something needs to be repaired that was part of the remodel, and you find out that there weren't permits. And so many times the city or municipality will make you go back and get the permits in order to do the repair, and that can involve a lot of money and a lot of time.
That can be a major headache. You may not be getting the square footage that you thought you were buying.
Right, you may not be getting the square footage, you may not be getting certain systems that are operational, or you may not have the proper foundation. There's so many issues that are involved when you buy property. Also, most people don't want to pay for a survey because it's expensive.
Yeah.
And I have price surveys anywhere from $600 to like $1,500. So it's not a $100 or $200 item. Yet, even in a planned community, most people don't know where their property line is. And then many times somebody moves in and there's a dispute. They say that your fence is over their line, or that you are dragging your trash can through your gate over their property, or you're parking somewhere that's encroaching on their space. So there's a lot of issues that, you know, don't come up until there's a problem. And also, each municipality has different rules about pool barriers. You have to have a pool barrier in the state of Arizona, but the extent of your barrier is defined by each municipality. And so the other thing is that the inspection issues are very different. Your rights to inspect are very different in a resale than in a new home. In a new home, you don't have the 10-day inspection period like you do in a resale.
You don't have an inspection period.
You don't really have an inspection period. You have to do your due diligence before you sign the contract, which most of the time involves reviewing the public report and asking a lot of questions.
What if there's some sort of a problem, though?
Usually you're required to close, and then the builder has the opportunity to repair. They're required to repair any issues unless you disagree on, unless the builder says, no, that's not really a repair.
And this whole process of inspections, whether it's new or existing property, that's a huge area. You've got lead paint, you've got termites, you've got flood damage, you've got mold issues.
You have soil expansion. I mean, we have a lot of issues here.
A lot of issues.
And you just don't want to assume that everything is okay.
No, that's when you get into problems.
Yeah, the inspection is important, and if something is a deal breaker for you, you want to either have a long enough inspection period to allow you to fully investigate, or you want to put a contingency in the contract. In other words, you want to add conditions to the contract, that if this exists, you have the right to cancel.
This is, again, back to that idea I was talking about. So important to have an attorney
Right.
who is also your real estate agent. Most real estate agents, they'll just say, yeah, sign here, it's a template. And it's a good template, the contracts are
Right,
good
it is a good template, but you have to be aware of the specific issues in that particular transaction.
This is where you bring value, Laura. It really is, and why it's so important, because these can be major problems if you don't know what to expect. And you know what to expect, and you can advise people.
Yeah, you know, at many new home contracts, you don't have the same financing contingency that you have in a resale contract. So each new home contract is different, and you gotta be sure about what you're required in terms of financing. And so there's a lot of issues involved.
New homes, whether you're buying or selling whether you're buying or selling an existing home, or you're buying a new home, you need to have somebody on your side helping you through this process, making sure that the transaction goes as smoothly as possible with as few problems as possible. Laura Bramnick is a real estate agent. She is also a real estate lawyer, and she's also a consumer advocate.
Yes.
480-624-2705. That's the phone number for Laura. 480-624-2705. The website, talkrealestateaz.com. talkrealestateaz.com. Or call 480-624-2705. Great info, Laura. Thank you.
Thank you, Sinclair.